A couple of days ago, my first daughter came in with a white bag containing some books, and I looked at the books, 3 books, and she bought them for 33,000 naira. After a few days, she came in yet with another bag, and they were books. I told her, baby, you know what? No more buying of books this month, and we both laughed. Then fast forward to a couple of days after, she still came back with a white book containing some books, and from the door she said, Mom, I didn't buy these books. A friend of mine bought them for me as a gift, and both of us laughed. Hi, I'm Ngozi Okure. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we discuss books, reading, and how we can leverage them for success in life. Please subscribe to my channel. You will love what we discuss here. Thank you. In today's video, I'm going to tell a very beautiful story of how I was able to, raise my children as avid readers. What were the things I did as a mother that made it possible for my children to grow up with a reading culture? I'll let you into it. You see, before I got married, I was a young person who loved reading. I was that young person who would read every Mills and Boon that came my way. I read Pesetas, and I read a few of James Hadley's. I didn't like a lot of them because of the suspense. I loved to read romance and stories, right? And then during holidays, I would fish out all the Newswatch magazines that were bought while I was in school, and I'll read them cover to cover. So that was my passion. Reading was a huge passion for me. Now, fast forward to when I became a person of faith, I channeled that, passion to reading faith-based books. I read a lot of inspirational books. And then later I descended on my Bible, began to read my Bible cover to cover on a yearly basis. So I was a person of books before I got married, and you know that whatever you love, when you get your children, you want to introduce them to it. Okay, so because I loved reading, when my children came, it was easy for me to introduce them to books. And I lived in Aba. My husband was an engineer with Unilever in Aba when my children came. So as my children were coming, they came in that commercial city, and of course Aba is known for importation of things, and one of the things that were being imported in Aba while I lived there were fairly used books that were brought in from UK. So it was such a beautiful experience for me the first day I saw where they were selling imported books in Aba. So I went and I bought as much as I could buy, and the things that really interested me much were the board books, right? Board books are the books that are designed for babies. It's a book that was designed for, to introduce children to the concept of books and reading. They are usually very uniquely shaped, uniquely colored, and I bought quite a good number of them. When your children are learning to sit down, they are learning to crawl, you surround them with toys. Now, one of the things that I used to surround my children at such stages of development were board books, right? Okay, so my children grew up seeing books everywhere. They grew up seeing mommy and daddy reading, okay? So that was why when it was time for them to crawl, books were everywhere. When it was time for them to toddle, there were books everywhere. So, and knowing who children are, the psychology of children, I ensured that I got them age-specific books. What do I mean by that? It means that when they're 2 years old, they had books meant for 2 years old. When 3 years old, they had books meant for 3 years old, okay? And of course, those imported books from UK, they had bedtime stories, they had Aesop's fables, books that told stories. It was easy for me also to buy illustrated Bible stories, okay? So they had a lot of Bible stories around them. Now, another thing about children is that children usually get bored with things. So even when you buy the books, right, so they will look for new ones. So since I knew the woman who dealt in selling of books, it was easy for me to get fresh ones, okay, for them. So they had a constant supply of new books, and that way they were always reading. My children are Gen Z children. I had them between 1999 and 2014. So within that time, it was the time when home video was booming in Nigeria. In fact, it was such a huge business that there are people who opened shops solely to rent out videos for people who wanted to watch. So everybody was watching home video left, right, and center around us. But I made sure that nobody watched home videos in my home. And I'll tell you why. You see, those home videos were usually used by film producers to mirror the ills that were going on in the society. So when you're watching the home videos, you will see a situation where a young girl wants money, he goes to patronize men. A young boy needs money, he goes to do one crime or the other. And then you will see they want to settle scores, they will do all manner of heinous crimes in the home video. They will always go to consult one medium or the other. All those things were not healthy for the mind of the young children, because between the ages of 1 and 7, the subconscious mind of the child is open. He's absorbing everything happening around him, and the adult watching the home video knows that those things are drama. The young child watching it does not know. He takes it as reality, takes it as a blueprint with which he will do life later in life. Okay, so I just made sure that I didn't allow my children to watch those home videos. Of course, we had a television, but those people that used to bring in those books, okay, they used to bring those books from UK, equally brought all manner of toys, educational toys, and they brought all manner of educational videos. So for the television and video, then we used the video to teach them educational, lessons that were relevant, that was relevant for their ages. Okay, so you had videos that were teaching them about animals. You see the ones that will teach them about morals, the donut man, and all those things. Anything that I perceived was healthy for their minds, healthy for them, those were the things we exposed them to. Okay, so that was what I did. And because they always had a constant supply of books and varieties of books, they were always reading. And I can't tell you how this shaped their lives, right? Because it made them to excel. Everywhere they were in school, they were always excelling. Why? Because children are born with great potential, so it is what you expose them to. Because I exposed them to reading, it was easy for them to feed, to develop the potential that was in them. Okay, so but if you bring your own children in, like in the 21st century, you see a lot of children who are addicted to the screen. Is because when I put books in the hands of my children, there are a lot of mothers who will use screen to distract their children. They want to do something, they don't want the child to cry, they don't want the attention, they get the child to be seeking attention. What do? They put on a cartoon for that child. At that age, very early in life, cartoon is not what the child needs. What the child needs is books, right? And that's why it's so important you buy the right kind of books, surround the children with books, supply children with constant good books. You will see that they will read, right? Now, because last year I began to hold webinars for mothers on how to give their children a reading culture, the question I got most from mothers is, what do I do? My children are addicted to cartoon, my children are addicted to video games and all that. And I tell them, I see children do not watch cartoon in the womb. It is when they come into this world that parents put cartoons in their hands. So discourage that. I want you to discourage exposing your children to cartoons, rather put books in their hands. I'll tell you what putting books in the hands of your children will do for them. What it will do for them is that, just like Obama said that reading is a gateway skill that makes every other learning possible. When a child learns to read early in life, that child will always read and will be able to have the body of knowledge and the necessary skills to excel in whatsoever it is she chooses to do. So I want to encourage you, don't put home videos into the hands of your children. Don't put screen into their hands. Don't, expose them to cartoons. Rather, expose your children to books, to good books, and this will help them to excel in life. So anything that we expose your children to acquiring skills and knowledge are the things you should put in their hands. I encourage you, please, to subscribe to my channel if you've not done so, and to like this video and share the link with other parents. Until I come your way next time, remain richly blessed.